So again, back in Report Writer, I'm on the Report Writer tab. I'm going into the Syndicated Reports tab. So let's say you want to run a report on everybody that registered during July. Maybe you want to invite them to a kickoff, maybe whatever it is you want to do. We're going to come in and look at this cross-event registration report. But you want to add something to it that's not already in the syndicated report shell. So what you're going to do is copy that report. And when you copy it, it's going to take you out of the syndicated reports folder and into a custom reports folder. You're making it your own. You can see up here at the top, it's calling it copy of this report. You don't really want to change the report type, so we're just going to leave everything alone on the first screen. And the rest of this process is the same process you would follow if you were creating a custom report, a report writer report from scratch. But it's kind of easy to start with something that's already created. So I encourage you to copy from the syndicated reports if you want to kind of make something your own. Okay, to give you an idea of everything that's available in Convio, these are all the columns that you can pull into a registration report. There are a lot of them. So if you don't want to get into it, you don't have to. But if you're curious to see if I can pull X, Y, or Z into a report, you can come in here, copy a report, and see what else is available. So you can see it just keeps going and going and going. So you select the columns you want in your report, and then you can rearrange them. You can choose which order you want them to appear in the report. Or let's say if you wanted less stuff in your reports, if you feel like there are already too many columns in there, you can also go and deselect some of the columns. But in this column order section, you can click and drag and drop to however you want to organize the report. It's basically the order in which the columns appear in your report. You can also click the rename link on the right-hand side and rename whatever it is. If you don't want it to be event date, you want it to be walk date, it's a real simple screen to use, and it kind of makes it nice and customizable and personal to you. Once you're done defining how you want the report to appear, you go to the next one, and it gives you an option to see how you want to sort the report results. So in what order should these names appear? Should it be by alphabetical by name? Should it be by registration date? You can choose that here. You have a lot of options. You can choose which column you want to sort by. Now the next step is my favorite step. It is very difficult to work with. It's called filters. So this is where those filters come in. The filters I have set up in this report automatically are the security category, the event type, which is walk, and then making sure the event date is within 2013. So we're looking at 2013 walks for your chapters. You can create additional filters here as well. And the reason I think this is difficult is it's really hard to figure out what each filter category does. So I want to come in here and say, I only want to look at registrations that were made during the month of July. It's kind of hard to figure out where to start. Most of the good stuff is down here under registration. So I'll give you that tip, but encourage you to go in and play around with it as well. So under registration, I have a subtype. My subtype is going to be registration date. So I'm going to create an event date filter here. I can say it's within a predefined range, like it's within the last 7 days, last 90 days, today, yesterday, etc. Or I can create a custom range and create it specific to whatever I want. So I'm going to say July 1st to July 31st. I'm going to leave this editable at runtime, which means that whenever I run it, I can change that filter. But that's what it's going to be by default, is everything in July. So that's how you create a filter. It's pretty easy. You can also come in and click the trash can to delete a filter. You can edit filters as well. The only ones you can't delete that don't have the trash can, they'll say required. That's just a default setting of the report itself. Okay, so I put in a date range filter here. I'm going to change the name of my report And I like to put my initials at the end so I can easily search for them. And then I'm going to click Next, review my report summary, and then I'm going to save it. So the reason I'm going to save it here instead of run it is I'm creating a new report template or report shell. If I ran it, it would run and give me report results, but every time I came back, I'd still have to go in and follow this whole same process of setting up this report again. If I save it, I only have to do that once. Now it's in my custom reports folder, and I can just come back in and run it every single time. So let's see what this looks like. You can see my filters, right? I just set up those filters. It says this is Southeast Florida, event type is walk, my events are in 2013, and my date range is in July. It's kind of a weird setup, so it's sometimes hard to quickly look and see what the dates actually are, but I can also edit this because I made it an editable filter and choose whatever date range I want. And then I just continue to click through and run the report. So now that's going to give me a list of every single person that registered in July. Got a chat question. Can others view and run this saved report? Other people in your chapter will be able to see your reports, but they won't have this edit option, and they won't have this checkbox that allows you to move the report. Okay, so again, my report results are there. I have 319 people that registered in July. I can call them or email them or add them to a group, do whatever it is I want to them. Now that my report is here, and just to clarify, I know it gets a little confusing looking at this view, which is the report writer home screen, and the report results screen. They look very similar, and sometimes it kind of gets confusing as like, oh, what am I looking at, a report result or a report shell? Just thinking about when you come to Report Writer, everything in this list are your report shells and you have to run them. Everything in your report results screen is all of the reports you've already run that you can download and play with. One other little tip here that I'll give you, everything is going to show up automatically in the custom reports folder. And what I mean by that is if you look over at the tree on the left-hand side where it says custom reports, you'll see all these different folders along this side, and you'll see some of them are people's names or different chapters. If you write the help desk, they'll actually create a report folder for you. So if you want to share all of your reports with your chapter and you don't want to have to sift through everybody else's reports, you can have them create a folder, and you'll have your specific chapters folders. You can also, if you want reports just for yourself, you can copy them or send them straight to your My Reports folder. And that's going to be just all of your own reports, everything that you've created. Great, so far what we've covered. Under Reports Classic, the Custom Team Raiser Summary Report is the main report that's going to give you that summary level information. Now, unfortunately, that report you cannot run on a date range, so you can't say, show me everything for July, show me a summary for July. That's one of the downfalls of Convio versus Sphere. Sphere, we could do that. We could kind of say, like, show me last year at this time versus this year at this time. We don't have that ability in Convio. You can only run date range reports on those detail level reports. So you can look at all registrations that came in, a list of all donations that came in. But you can't say, show me a summary level of all the dollars I raised last month. It just doesn't work that way. So, I mean, you can run that donation level report, put a filter on it, and summarize it. You can run the registration report, put a filter on it, summarize it, but that's a lot of work for you guys. So that's something I actually do every week. If you're not familiar, you can go to Walk Central, log in, and on the home screen of Walk Central, right here, weekly walk tracking, the very top of the don't miss it box, I actually create a year-over-year tracking report for you guys. It's also under goals and evaluation, but this is the quickest, and I update it every Tuesday morning. This week I was a little slow on the draw, sorry I got it done today, but it's there. So if you download that and open it up, okay. This is the weekly walk tracking report. One important thing to note is the tabs across the bottom. So the first tab you're on is nationally, how are we doing this year versus last year. So this year to date 2012 shows us where we were on July 29th last year, and the year to date 2013 shows us where we are nationally to date as of 7/29, as of Monday. And then it shows you the change. So we're 8% ahead in teams, 8% ahead in donations. So doing pretty well. Little slow in online registrations, but I think that's because we sent our email in July a little bit earlier last year. Then you have the progress by chapter tab. This is going to show you all of your participants as of this time last year, chapter wide, and all of your participants this year, chapter wide. It also has teams, participant dollars, sponsorship dollars, and total revenue. If you've given us your goal, if you've given your goal to the walk team or to your national or to your chapter coordinator, we have entered it here. If you have not provided your goals yet, you should do that. Contact Wendy Folk at the national organization and let her know what your goals are for your chapter and for each walk. And we'll plug this in. Then we have progress per walk. So if you want to break it down even further, so the progress per chapter actually shows everybody from last year, even if that walk has not returned. So it shows like all of the participants you had last year at this time versus all the participants this year. Progress per walk does not look at walks that haven't returned. It only looks at walks that are occurring this year. And it shows you where you are in comparison to where you were at the same time last year for each walk. And then the final tab here, it just shows you some trends nationwide. So what I mean by trends are those key performance indicators. We want to know if people are using the system, if they're fundraising, if teams are fundraising, if people are updating their page, sending email, etc. I track those things weekly, look at it versus the same time last year. You can see that we're about the same as we were in participants fundraising, but our average gift amounts are higher, our confirmed and online, both ways. Our average per participant is higher than it was the same time last year. So things are looking pretty good. People are sending fewer emails through Convio. That's not a big surprise. We know people are moving more towards social or emailing from their own campaign. And the reason I'm not worried about that is looking at the percent of people who've updated their page this year. 37% this year versus 27% last year. So we know people are in there using their pages and fundraising. So that's the weekly report that I provide you guys that looks at your year-over-year progress. If you have any questions about it, always feel free to contact me. I'm happy to answer any questions about it. Once again, that's on Walk Central. You can find it on the homepage, or you can go under Goals and Evaluation, and it's under this 2013 Walk Month Progress, and you can see each week's. You can also look at last year's if you want to. It's in a big zip file.